Today we are going to look at equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are when you take one fraction and make it equal to another fraction by either multiplying or dividing the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So first we're going to look at 2/3 using fraction bars. The top fraction bar is split into 3 pieces because our denominator is a 3. We will shade in 2 of those pieces because the numerator 2 tells us that we have 2 out of 3 pieces. To make an equivalent fraction, we can actually multiply this number by any number we want. We're going to use the number 2 for all 3 of our examples. When I multiply 3 times 2, I get 6 pieces. So I'm going to be splitting every one of my original pieces in half, so my new bar has 6 pieces. Then I'm going to color in the equivalent amount that matches the bar above it. Then I can count my pieces. There are 4 pieces shaded in, so my new numerator is 4. I can also get that number by just simply multiplying 3 times 2 for the 6 and 2 times 2 for the 4. We're going to repeat that process with 3/4. The fraction bar is split into 4 pieces because our denominator has a 4. We are going to color 3 of them in because our numerator is a 3. 4 times 2 is 8. Our new denominator is an 8. Our new fraction bar is split into 8 pieces. We're going to color in a matching piece. That gives us 6 pieces colored in. 3 times 2 is 6. Our last example is the bar is split into 5 pieces because our denominator is a 5. We are coloring 3 of those pieces in. We're again using a multiplier of 2, so 5 times 2 is 10. Splitting every piece in half gives me 10 pieces in my new bar. Coloring in an equal amount then gives me 6 pieces, or 3 times 2 is 6. We can use the same thing by simply multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the same number as the examples shown on the bottom. The first example they give is 1/5. Multiplying both 1 and 5 by the 2, 5 times 2 gives you the denominator of 10, and 1 times 2 gives you the numerator of 2. 1/5 is equal to 2/10. We can also work backwards using division. If I had started with the number 2/10, I could look at that number and say, oh, they're both even. They're both divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5, to get the simplest form of 1/5. Our second example on the bottom is 2/3. This time we are multiplying both 2 and 3 by the number 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 times 3 is 6, giving us the equivalent fraction of 6/9. If I were reducing 6/9, I would start by dividing both 6 and 9 by 3, since 3 is their common factor. Our last example is 1/6. This number we're going to multiply by 4. 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 times 4 is 4, giving us an equivalent fraction of 4/24. For this one, if I were reducing 4/24, I would have a couple of options. I could start by dividing by 2 because 2 is a common factor of 4 and 24. If I divide by 2, I would get 2/12, and then I would have to divide by 2 again to get the simplest form of 1/6. I could also start just by dividing by the greatest common factor, which is 4. 4 divided by 4 gives us back the 1, and 24 divided by 4 gives us 6. Remember, all fractions should be written in simplest form when you're solving problems such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.